Welcome to CEO SAHM Radio. I'm your host and founder, Tashina. This podcast was developed to help moms become powerful, successful, and wealth conscious by embracing your executive power within to lead your family and yourself to intrinsic success. I'm so honored to have you tuning in, and it is my highest intention that the information and vibrations you receive from today's session is exactly what you're looking for. So let's dive right into today's broadcast. This is a much awaited topic for me to share with you all, and thank you so much for tuning in. Now, although traditionally stay-at-home moms have a partner, I no longer do. I started my journey as a married stay-at-home mom to my stepson, and we welcome our sons into the world, which are Irish twin boys, the following year after our marriage. So I am divorced as of 2015. And I have my sons 5 days a week, and on the weekends, then they go a few miles up the road to their dad's house, which is my ex-husband, Henry. So I'm not gonna lie, of course being a stay-at-home mom was much easier when I was married, and it's really easy now, but it wasn't always that way. There were years where my ex-husband and I had a toxic relationship, which made co-parenting and my professional life I was trying to build and just living life in general hell for me, to be honest. And also to keep it conscious with you guys, I take 100% responsibility for my role in my former toxic relationship. And I say that because a lot of the times when women speak about relationships, they are so quick to blame the other spouse. But I'm going to show you through my very real former life story how it's not the other person, but you that actually is the one in control, as I was and still am to this day. So it started in 2019. My ex-husband and I entered a new season. For the first time, okay, without even trying, we began to thrive as former spouses and co-parents to our sons. Now, to this day, mid-2020, we have a co-parenting relationship as well as a friendship filled with mutual respect, thank goodness, communication, and peace that I can only have imagined in my wildest dreams. As a matter of fact, his girlfriend and I have never had any issues ever. Not so ironically, when my ex-husband and I had a toxic relationship, his girlfriend he was dating at the time, her and I almost got into a fight with each other at one point. Dramatic, I know, and my point exactly. But again, the dream of having a thriving relationship is not a wild dream anymore. It is a very real and refreshing reality. And it benefits us, my sons and his son, which is my former stepson, as well as benefits the other areas of our lives by default. You see, in our society, it's very easy to hear the baby mama, baby daddy, ex-wife, ex-husband drama dynamic. And you may not be in that relationship, but you hear about it from people that are. So when two people fix that, by default, that stops existing for other people all around them as well. Okay. How did this happen exactly? How did I go from screaming, fighting, yelling, hatred, abuse, manipulation, fear, no communication, anger, dishonesty, and all other types of toxic co-parenting form of a relationship to a relationship we currently have that indicates we've been doing this for years? Ladies, I changed. The simple answer is I changed. You see, I wanted him to change for so many years. In my mind, he was the problem. He did this and he did that and he needed to change and so on and so forth. Does it sound familiar? Here's what it really started with. In 2018, I was recovering from an illness and I began to focus on me. I got off of social media in that year and I was just really recovering and healing. But when I came back in 2019, I just kept focusing on me and my sons. I ignored everything else in life and I began to take more and more risks when it came to my growth. Now, because the risks I was taking were so huge, okay, I didn't have time to give anything else my attention. It's like walking a tightrope to get to the other side. You have to focus on each step or you're doomed, right? With that analogy, what ended up happening was that I did get to the other side of my recovery and growth, and it felt so bleeping good. It felt so great that I ran with these feelings because I saw the benefits of living life from higher vibrations. Happiness, joy, gratitude, silliness, feeling peaceful, feeling relieved and calm. And one of the biggest benefits is in letting everything else go. I didn't have to try, I just did it. I mean, no wonder Nike is so successful. Their motto works. You see, before I relied on external things to get me to feel this way and wanted my external reality to change before I ever considered feeling a certain way. After all, that's what half the population does, and that's what we're taught all too often. But with no excuses, for the first time in my adult life, I felt like that all by myself. Nothing was doing it. I was doing it, and it felt great. It felt healthy. It felt successful to me. It felt like I was finally in control of my life. Now, what does all this have to do with him and my relationship with him? You guys, without even knowing it, I had leveled up in vibration. I was not the same woman I was before, nor did I ever even think about that woman. What I had noticed, because it was impossible for me not to notice, was my relationship with my ex-husband was different. It was a world of difference. No drama or anything like that. We didn't talk about the changes. We didn't plan it. We didn't have a motivational powwow on what we could do to make things better. As a matter of fact, in my former toxic relationship, we couldn't even have those type of conversations because that's how ugly and crazy it was, unfortunately. Actually, also, he wasn't part of my decision to be a better me and a mom, but him and I absolutely reaped the benefits of it. Because I was now thriving, my other relationships in co-parenting mirrored the same. Now, you might be thinking, that's great, but actually, it doesn't work that way. And Karen, it absolutely does. Because every time we communicated, I didn't talk about the past. I didn't bring it up. I didn't focus on it or ever really think about the past when it came to us. That's because the past was so horrible. It was so low vibrational. So it was to my benefit to leave the past there. Plus, I did not try to talk about it or even dwell on the other things that he had done because I would have lowered my vibration. I would pay the price just for looking back. Never gonna happen. I already paid the price and the reward is mine to enjoy unapologetically. But I achieved something that was impossible to me and I wanted to keep the growth going, and I did. In fact, by the time I had noticed him and I were having a thriving co-parenting relationship, my momentum, my life was already going in a very strong way. So to give an analogy, I think we all can agree it's hard to stop a moving train, and you wouldn't want to for good reason. I was that moving train in that sense, that my life was vibrationally going steadily and at a great speed. And I wasn't about to stop for no one, especially the past, mine included. You see, I say this because a lot of women and people, they get on their personal growth and end up ruining it by reminiscing on the past or stopping to talk about it with their girlfriends in their former life via memories and things that they don't want, instead of keeping themselves going and forgetting about the past. If you keep bringing it up, it keeps existing. Nothing exists without you. In order for a memory to become a reality, it has to be brought up by you. You know, when my sons argue, I ask them, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? When it comes to some situations in life, that question is an absolute life changer in the moment, because it's like, if you want to be right, keep arguing. If you want to be happy, let that shit go and keep moving forward and not in a circle. That's not just the lesson for my sons. That is something that I apply in a ton of areas of my life subconsciously, and it's advice that will help you stay on your path in a healthy relationship with yourself, which is number one. And check this out. Because you might be like me and find this next part unbelievable, because I swear I did. See, what was even more miraculous was he never brought up the past either. He never lowered his vibration around me, ever. It was like he became a different person, but he didn't. Please, please, please listen closely to this next part, especially if you're not viewing the screen. So the CEO and CEO SAHM, this is what it's all about. It stands for Conscious Executive Order. I chose to live my life in a different vibration. I chose to focus on the present moment and all of the possibilities of the future going forward. I chose not to go back in memory to the past and dwell on any of the drama. And I did it for me. He, like before, was responding to the level that I was on. When I raised my standard of vibration and kept it there, so every time that we interacted, co-parented, and communicated, it was always from here. For him or anyone else for that matter to communicate with me, they had no choice but to respond to that level because that's the only level that you could reach me on. It's not fabricated. It's not something you have to try to do. It's something that's done because the change is you. Like it was me. It's effortless. And this was all happening on a subconscious level, on a very natural level. Again, it was just happening. So of course, over time, I could not help but notice the world of difference between us. And feel me when I tell you, drama and toxic relationships was normal in my family. We grew up with it. We didn't know any different. Do you know what I mean? I have memories of horrible things that took place with my parents and seeing more as a teenager and a young adult out on my own. I myself prayed to the high heavens once upon a time and wished and dreamed that what we have now would instantly take place, this nirvana relationship with my ex-husband. But little did I know, all I had to do was choose, evolve, and let the rest go. The rest would become history, and history that I wanted to keep repeating. Peace and prosperity, thriving over barely surviving in my relationship with my ex-husband and other low vibrational connections that I might have had in my life at the time. It took me years to figure this out, but in hindsight, in retrospect, moms, it is that easy. I didn't have to change us. I just needed to change me. I wasn't trying to be a better ex-wife or a better co-parent. I just focused on being a better me and focused on being a happier mother and a healthier mother and a better parent and a better person, and the rest fixed itself. Alchemy. I've been to CODA meetings, Codependence Anonymous. I felt the pain and have seen it in other people. And it's not funny when a mom finds herself in those situations because it's magnified with children. So believe me when I say I understand how painful it can be. But I promise, when you level up in vibration from within, you move different, you think different, you feel different, you focus differently, and as a result, you don't have time or attention to place on anything that's not where you want to feel or be in life. And as a mom, personally, I love control of my household, but I can honestly say the irony of it all is that when you let go of control in toxic areas of one's life, you get the results you have always wanted. It's healthy, it's organic, it's a level that your kids and other people in your home benefit from. You see, when mom's not happy, ain't nobody happy, as the saying goes. But when mom is vibrating, operating on next level happiness, others around you are more likely than not to take notice on a subconscious level and learn to interact with you and operate around you accordingly. It's just the perks and power of being a leader at home, mom. But you are not just any mom. You are CEO Sam, or maybe you are someone who knows a CEO Sam, and to that I say, lucky you. In either case, that is the end of today's passionate episode. As always, let's connect on Instagram at CEO Sam if we are not already connected. And I'll see you guys next time on the next episode. Till then, embrace your executive power within. Let it lead you to leading yourself and your family to intrinsic success, wealth included.